Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Inside the Den. Now today we're going to take a look at Divine Souls. And this is a free-to-play 3D fantasy MMORPG, but it's really got a lot of action-based elements to it, very similar to a game like Vindictus and stuff like that. You can see it's really open as far as the number of countries that are playable, and you know, with North America and Europe locations, that definitely pleases a lot of people that right now in Europe cannot play a game like Vindictus. So let's get in here and let's take a look. So I do have one character already, got him to level 5, but we're going to go through the character creation process so you guys can see what that's all about. So let's go ahead and create a character, and you can see essentially right now you have 4 different classes. You've got the fighter, you've got a slasher, you've got a mage, and then you've got a priest. Now one thing that's kind of, you know, stinks about it is you can see they are gender locked, but you know, at least they look pretty cool. And we're gonna go ahead and create a slasher, and we'll go ahead and name our slasher, and you can see you do have a few character customization options, not a ton. Mainly you just can choose your face type. So let's go with that one actually, and then you can choose your hairstyle, and with the hairstyle comes essentially kind of a base color, but then you can change the color to any of these kind of crazy different things down here. We're gonna go ahead and go with like a pink color, why not? And then you've got different styles as far as your outfit is concerned. Essentially it just changes the color of what you're already wearing, so nothing too exciting there. But you can change the color of your actual skin and things like that. Now it's too bad you can't do like tattoos and size and stuff like that, but I mean essentially it's very basic, not too crazy as far as the customization is concerned. So let's go ahead and create our character and jump into the game. So there we go. So we've got our 2 characters. We're going to go ahead and select that one and start. Now the game has, since its launch, has gone through
go to the next area.
A lot of different upgrades. And originally you didn't start out in this tutorial area. So they start you out in this tutorial area to kind of give you an understanding of the basics. And the basics are pretty simple. We're going to go with mouse mode. And you can see they want you to move around and stuff like that. Move your camera up, down. Move your mouse left and right, and you have to actually use different different keyboard controls, and then very similar you have to unlock the mouse to move forward. So let's go ahead and move to the space that they want us to. Very simple, moving around with W, A, S, and D, and then they want us to jump, and you can see you do a cool backflip. Now one thing that's kind of weird when you dynamically is when you jump, you land, you actually pause. Like you can't just continuously jump and run through the space. So let's and this is kind of a glitchy thing. You can see you know, I have to actually go ahead and bring my mouse out, and then it asks me if I want to cancel. So you can use F to dash around, and then let's go ahead and press enter. You can execute attack by left click. So there we go. So we've executed our attack. Defend yourself with right click. Pretty simple stuff, nothing major as far as that stuff is concerned. You can grab you know, the NPCs and stuff like that with E. So let's move on. So you can evade and do kind of a little flip roll. We're using your double tapping the different spaces, and you can do different combinations. You can see there. You'll also, once you get into the game, you can see you can get into all these different combinations, and some of them are you know, you use them to grab, and they have little videos for each one that you can watch once you get into the game, and it's pretty cool because you could pick up more and more of these as time goes on. So the gate is now open. We can move to the next map. Now the game is also instance based, so it's not like you're going to be running around a persistent world. You essentially take and you basically just go in and you get different quests, and then the quests are you're essentially supposed to go through the different areas and the different instances to complete the quests that you get from different NPCs. You can see right there, R is to pick up different items and stuff like that. So we're gonna go ahead and take out all these guys. You can see the animations as far as the fighting animations are pretty cool. Later on, once you get some of the other skills, the animations get pretty cool for those too. So it's always nice to see that those different animations because it shows a little bit extra time. You can see with the voice acting and some of these little cutscenes and stuff like that. There's definitely been some effort put into the game, and recently it did get an upgrade because for a while you couldn't play in some of the higher resolutions, and more recently the game upgraded their resolution, so you can. I'm actually playing at a full 1920 by 1200. But you can see right here, there's some pretty cool, you know, kind of attack animations once you essentially stun, you know, like boss monsters and stuff like that. And you can see I just use T to be able to mount up on top of the actual boss monster. So that stuff is pretty cool right there. So let's see. Now we're actually into, this is the actual gameplay. I'm out of the tutorial, but there's still a few things that the game does as far as some basics on the tutorial side. You can see right here, getting quests, exclamation point, and just like any other game, when you take, or many other games I should say, you take and you cruise along, you get your first quest, and you can see they've got an exclamation point, and once you complete it, you actually
attention, please.
You actually see a question mark over his head. So not too far from the norm there. So you can see the game does have not only the scenario, but they have little subquests. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to accept that quest. So, and then close it out, and then we can bring up our quest log with L. So, or click down here. So the game really wants to walk me through all this stuff. So we're going to go ahead and enter the dungeon. So move to the dungeon, and it's actually doing this for me, but later on it won't do these automatic runs. Now, see, you can do a couple of different things once you enter the dungeon. You can join a party or just enter the dungeon. And when you join a party, it brings up a party screen to where you have access to be able to jump into other parties and things like that, or create one of your own. But we're going to go ahead and enter the dungeon, and when you enter, I don't know if it's going to show it on this tutorial piece. Let's see if it does or not. So there we go. So you can see we've got several different areas that we can enter from this sector. And right now we're just going to go to the Forest of Mist because we're just level 1. So we're going to select that one. And you can select easy, normal, or hard. And then you can do item pickup style and then dice setting for as far as like the rolls and those types of things. So let's go ahead and go through these. And you can change the pickup. Basically, it's telling you what I just told you. So let's enter and get started. Essentially, you're just going to run through these different sectors, very similar to other games that are like this. And yep, I know there's my hit points, stamina, all that good jazz, revival. So let's go. So, and while I was playing the this tutorial right here, I did realize that I don't have to actually access my mouse key. I can just hit the enter key to get through those different screens where it's asking me, or it's telling me different stuff. So keep that in mind. Don't make those little mistakes and keep pressing escape to bring up your mouse key like I did. So let's go ahead and we can see we can pick him up, and then we can essentially beat on him while we've got him picked up. Let's do that again so you guys can see that again. So essentially we just took him out. We're gonna run back here and pick up all this loot. Now, one thing I wish that the game would do is stuff like that. That's just basically, you know, it's just basically coins. I wish I could just run over them and pick them up instead of actually having to stop and press R and all those things. Now, you can see down at the bottom, I do have one skill available, and it's in the X key. We're gonna go ahead and use that right now. So let's see what that actually does. So you can see that picks them up, and it does have a cooldown associated with it, but it does a lot more damage. And later on, you'll pick up additional skills, and you can purchase those from there's a skill master in town. And then your able sections will actually see there'll be a boss there. Now, as far as population is concerned in the game, it does have a decent sized population. There's only the one server. There's a few channels, but when we do get into town, and we'll get into town here shortly, it won't take me long to finish out this instant. You'll see there's people running around and trading and all of that different stuff. The game does have a full they call it a broker system instead of an auction house, which is fine. I mean, you know, whatever a game wants to call it is it doesn't matter. So you do have you do have the ability to go there and find different weapons and armor and stuff like that. And that's kind of where the customization starts to come in as far as the game is concerned. Because once you start getting different armor and weapons and stuff like that, you really start to see some changes as far as the look and style of your character. But I mean, it's pretty basic because, you know, this character is a slasher, so they can only use certain weapon types. You know, as far as the customization and really the cool weapons and the look and feel and stuff of armor, Vindictus definitely has a little bit better. You're able to add those to your hotbar. So it's always nice to have those additional skills and stuff like that to be able to do more damage and all that stuff. Now sometimes you're seeing right now, you're only seeing mostly coins drop out of these guys. You will get different items. You'll also get skill books out of them, you know, while we're on the subject of skills. So you're able to, you're going to be able to pick up different skill books, and then you're able to assign those and learn those just from the skill books that you have, that you found during your adventures. So let's take out these last guys before we head off into the next section. You can see the game keeps track of how many hits you have in a row. It also keeps track of your total number of kills. So, and those last guys just showed up. So let's cruise over here, see if we can take these guys out pretty quick and get into the next area. You can see as we're basically getting deeper and deeper into this instance, we're seeing a little bit more powerful monsters, kind of the grunts, and now we've got a little bit more. These guys are a little stronger. You can see they've got some armor around them. And when we get to the at the end of each of these little these instance stylization. Now, granted, I'm only seeing stuff in the newbie area, so you kind of are only here for like your first 20 levels or so, if I remember correctly. So you pretty much progress through this area pretty quick, because the experience rate is pretty decent between the quests, running the quest, completing the quest, and then being out here and taking out all these monsters and stuff like that. Now, one thing that is kind of cool is at the end of each time you do these instance zones, at the end you get a score very similar to the ratings you see in a lot of other more kind of 2D or side-scrolling instance-based MMOs, very much like Dragon Saga and Lunia and stuff like that. You get a score at the end. Basically, it doesn't allow you to pick up any additional items. There is kind of a bonus round, so to say, that you'll battle your way through, that essentially gives you the ability to earn either a single item, or even if you lose in that bonus round, you do earn a little bit of extra gold. So the game is pretty gold heavy as far as the currency is concerned. They really push you and give you a lot of opportunity to earn the in-game gold to be able to buy new weapons, buy new armor, and do stuff like that. So there we go. Those guys are down. I think we have, yeah, there we go. One more group to take out. We're going to be able to move on to the next section. But you can see in the bottom left, as far as the conversation goes, from players that are actually playing the game, it's there's a pretty decent conversation going on all the time, so that usually gives a pretty good indication of population, which when we're seeing a constant stream of conversation, pretty much means there's people playing the game, and I'm doing this pretty early morning, so there's more than just me running around here, which you always get worried about when you play some of these games. So there we go. So we're gonna move on to the next section, see if we can get through this before we run out of time, because I do want to show you guys the town a little bit. We've got a couple of groups that we've got to take out. Let's see if I can take them out pretty quick. I'm gonna get a little bit of lag there. Probably Frapp's not enjoying something. And it's too bad because right now, I am still in this tutorial zone, but I can't open up any of the things like inventory and stuff like that. But here's the boss. So we are at the end of the instance right now. One thing I can say is it's pretty crazy. You know, they do have this starting instance is pretty long. You know, in a lot of other games, it's much quicker as far as getting through and being able to run through. And that's one thing they don't have. You know, they don't have a. At least I haven't seen it. Maybe one of you guys can tell me in the comments as far as a sprint. And you can see like some of the kind of the combat dynamics are a little off. You know, they're just a little herky-jerky as far as, you know, like you'd see him just, you know, kind of doing full 180 turns, and they're not very fluid as far as the movements are concerned of the NPCs. Almost got him. There we go. Let's pick up these last items. So there you go, stage clear, and it's going to take me on to the grading process. So there we go. You can see the map 3 maps clear, monster kill 48, total combat 340, and all that different stuff, and a rating of S. So now we're going to essentially move on to the bonus round. What's this? Bonus stage. So there we go. We want to enter the bonus stage. Now in this bonus stage, you essentially select what action type, you know, attack, defend, or run. And then you can see what you earn based upon, you know, winning or losing. That's really weird that it's not my character. It's actually this other character. So let's go ahead and go with attack and see what happens. And then it looks like we actually got a win. So yeah, it's kind of strange that it is just a generic character. It's not actually my character in that spot, but hey, you know, whatever. Alright, so let's head out of here and let's head into, there we go. So we completed the quest, talk to GPAC, and it's going to run me over there. T to talk, let's chat. Please. And in that section, you'll sometimes, depending upon the NPC, you'll see a lot of different things like
you have finished the quest.
So there we go, beginner armor top. So let's close that out. No, what do we got going on here? Press I. So there we go, inventory. So we got a beginner armor top. Let's go ahead and equip the belt and equip the top. Actually, it's not going to let me. So it wants me to look, it really wants me to follow all this different stuff from the tutorial. So here we go. Now we're actually going to head into the town of Ellen Blade. So can we close any of this stuff? It really doesn't want to let me. But it's kind of nice, you know, you bring up the mini map, and you know, each of the maps are not that big. Once we get in here, I'll bring up the mini map and be able to show you the town mini map. So playing in town. Go to Sylvia. So there we go. So we're pretty much done with that, and you can bring up this little help menu. It'll bring up a lot more stuff. So let's close that out and let's talk to her.
Do you have some problem to ask the Grey Flame?
Let's accept this, and here we go. Little cutscenes. There's a lot of little cutscenes like this.
Good to see you all.
It is pretty funny if you noticed. For some reason, she just randomly grabs her boobs. I don't know why, but she just randomly likes to touch herself. And they like to just randomly shake around. And there you go. So she's just randomly touching them. She really, really is excited to see us. But this is one of the cutscenes. I think you guys got a pretty good idea. I hope you enjoyed today's trip inside the den. Don't forget to subscribe and keep yourself updated as each new episode is released. If you'd like to play or learn more about Divine Souls, you can read our full review on MMOden.com or just click the link in the description. Till next time, thanks for watching.
If they are still alive.